concerned about Terence Bud Crawford. And we're going to get there, fam. We're going to definitely get. Matter of fact, let's do that story next. Let's do that story right now, as a matter of fact. Let's talk about Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia was over on the PBC Podcast. I believe it was Wednesday. And I listened to his interview. And this was one of the most revealing interviews that I have ever seen Mikey Garcia do. Why? Not because of who he wanted to fight. No, he gave a lot of political answers and he didn't insult nobody. It was almost as if Mikey Garcia was trying to go out of his way and not insult nobody. When they brought up who he want to fight, he's like, I want to face Ugas, and maybe try to get that belt and maybe try to get a rematch with Errol Spence Jr. Why are you thinking about Errol Spence Jr. when you lost every second of every round? I would never understand. But that's you, Mikey. That's you. He didn't insult no one. When he was asked about Terence Crawford, he's like, Terence Crawford is a good fighter. You can't blame him for the situation he's pretty much in. He's not, people criticize him. It's not good to criticize him. He's just basically saying he's over there on the island and he's just not over here with us. It has no bearing on him. It's not saying he's not a great fighter. It's not saying he's not this. He's just saying that he's stuck over there on the island. I respected that answer from Mikey. I'm like, where's Mikey going with? Why is he being so nice? And he just, even in the Ugas situation, he's just like, hey, maybe I get Ugas, maybe I don't. There's a lot of people want to fight Ugas. There's a lot of people who want to get in position. There's a lot of people. I mean, Errol Spence Jr. got 2 belts. He has a better chance, I will admit. Mikey is being straight up candid about that. We seen Manny Pacquiao put out some news this week on Twitter that he's starting his training camp. There was a lot of rumors circulating that it could have been Mikey Garcia. Still could be, truth be told. Mikey's a businessman. Mikey thinks like a businessman. I think Mikey has no problem with keeping a secret if that's where they're going to go with it. But let's keep pushing. So Mikey said a lot in this particular interview. He says that, and I quote, and you can see some of these quotes, all of those words that you see right there beside Mikey Garcia are the quotes from the interview that we're going to kind of deal with. He goes and says, I'm going to look for other options. I'm not going to just be waiting for Manny. He says, Ugas, I want Ugas first because he is the champion, and then a rematch with Errol Spence. About Terence Crawford, and I quote, if he was able to work without Top Rank in the picture, that can be very exciting for everybody, end quote. Alluding to the fact that he's definitely down to face Terence Crawford. I just got one problem, and that's Bob Arum. I ain't got no problem with fighting Terence Crawford, but it's Bob Arum. You know me and Bob Arum, we pretty much don't see eye to eye. Mikey started to go into his situation that he had with Bob Arum. And over time, we always knew that Mikey, he had a lawsuit. He was out of the ring. He missed some time out of the ring. And we know it was between him and Top Rank. But we really never knew the intricacies of it, the ins and outs about like what really went down, what really went wrong to the point that it kept you out the ring in your prime years. What could have went that wrong, Mikey? And Mikey started to explain. And he went into vivid detail in this interview on exactly what happened. Let's get to some of his quotes. Hold on. Mikey, he pretty much started to let his nuts hang. He says, look, I don't work for Top Rank no more. They don't pay me, in a nutshell. So I can pretty much start saying what I want. His only repercussions that he has, think about, keep this in mind. And to my Terence Crawford fans, keep him in mind. Keep it in mind from this point forward. Mikey Garcia says to Bob Arum, let me read the quote actually. He says, in a nutshell, whenever I say something wrong, you want to go behind my back and take it out on other fighters. Now, we all know that Mikey Garcia's brother, Robert Garcia, trains a lot of fighters and trains a lot of top ranked fighters. So Mikey Garcia is alluding to the fact that every time you got a problem with me or me and you got an issue, why you taking it out on other fighters? The first thing I thought about was, damn, that's crazy, man, because Bud, he got to deal with Top Rank. Bomac got a stable of fighters on the side. Would Bob Arum get so pissed off at Terence Crawford that he take it out on the stable of fighters that Bomac is running? Riddle me that. Let's keep going. Mikey Garcia then goes on and starts to describe his issue with Top Rank. Now, this is the thing that really got me. So we're going to try to describe it as Mike. We're not going to use his exact words, but we're going to describe his issue. Mikey says that in January of 2014, he fought contractually what was supposed to be his last fight for Top Rank. He then, given that he had the WBO World Championship, the small print in his contract stated that by him being a champion, that he owed Top Rank, at least according to Mikey, 3 title defenses. So Mikey says, you know what? Forget that little, 3 title defenses extension stuff. How about me and you just sit down with Top Rank and we just talk about doing a whole new deal? Up my purse. I've been a world champion. Y'all helped build me. Y'all made me into this champion just like you did Floyd, just like you did Oscar. Y'all made me into this champion. You made me this popular guy. I'm 3-division champion at that time. 3-division champion. Big star in the Mexican world. Now I'm ready to talk about a good deal. Top Rank says, hold on. No. We ain't trying to do a new deal right now. We would prefer you to do these extensions. So Mikey's like, no, forget these titles. Y'all getting 3 titles. Let's just do a new deal. And then Top Rank offers Mikey Garcia Yorkis Gamboa. Mikey says, okay, fine. But the deal was, if Mikey was to fight Yorkis Gamboa, he would have to sign a whole new deal with Top Rank. Forget the extensions, these title defenses. No, we want a whole new deal. With the only exception being, you got to keep the exact same terms that you rolling with now. This is according to Mikey Garcia. So you got to keep the same terms. No pay raise. Regardless of a star, how much of a star you think you are. If you want this Gamboa fight, then you going to have to sign this new deal. Mikey says, given I took a look at it, I just said, you know what? That's a crap deal. You're not getting me anything new. You just want me to accept the same old terms, negotiate no purse. You don't want me to negotiate anything, no increases, just take what's given and keep it pushing. Mikey says, no, you know what? Screw all that. Let's just stick with what we got. Let's go with these 3 title defenses or whatever, these 3 title fights, and I'm good. And I'll just move on. Top Rank comes along and says, no, we ain't doing that. You ain't getting the Gamboa fight neither until you sign. We don't even tripping off the extension. So given that we got you under contract as an extension for your title defenses, you can't go nowhere. And we're not giving you the Gamboa fight, so you're going to sit on the shelf. Mikey says, what the hell? What did they do then? What else can they do? Mikey says, fine, I'll just sit here with my title and I'll just cool on out. And then the WBO come calling. They say, sir, you've been very inactive. You ain't been fighting. According to Mikey Garcia, Top Rank ain't want to talk. They didn't want to sit down and do a fight by fight. They didn't want to sit down and do a mediation. They didn't want to sit down and do an arbitration. They didn't want to sit down and talk. Can we work this out? According to Mikey, no one wanted to talk. And on top of that, people was running and not giving Bob Arum the full story because Bob was removed from this situation, according to Mikey. He was dealing with other people. And they was going back and telling Bob anything. So Mikey says, you know what? He said, you know what? Fine. That's cool. I'll just sit here with my WBO title. Like I said, the WBO come calling. You ain't fought in 10 months. Yeah, Top Rank might have got you on the shelf, but you ain't fought. So that means we need that WBO title. Snatch the WBO title away from Mikey Garcia. He's no longer a champion. So at this point, not only does he not have a title, he ain't gonna have no title defenses. He ain't gonna have no title fights. He ain't gonna have every bit of nothing because Top Rank stripped him down of everything. Of everything. And then Mikey got smart and said, well, hold on. I was obligated to y'all because I was a world champion. And I was obligated to give you title defenses. But if I'm no longer a champion, I don't have to no longer give you any title defenses. I can walk out the door. Let's go to court. And that's how Mikey got out. Now let's think this is about my man Terence Crawford. Look at Mikey's quotes right there on the screen. It was 9 or 10 months with no fight. Damn. He said the WBO told him, if you're not fighting, we need you to vacate the title due to inactivity. Look at those quotes. Mikey says, I was forced to vacate this title, not under my own will. It was Top Rank, not booking any fights for me. If I have no title fights or title defenses, how can you apply that clause? And that's how Mikey got out. Let's fast forward to Terence Crawford. They say Terence Crawford's contract is up in October. That's what we heard. I remember Bob Arum with these crazy quotes out here, right? When they asked Bob Arum, when did Terence Crawford's contract actually end? And he had some little joke like, basically saying in years, forever. It makes me wonder, with Terence Crawford holding that WBO belt, Top Rank, Bob Arum has been giving contracts like this since forever. Because we all hyped up and we all are hoping that come October this year that my man Terence Crawford walking out and walking across the street. But if he got that belt, like Mikey had that belt, can he really walk out the door? Mikey had a belt. Mikey was a 3-division champion, just like Bud. Mikey's, his brother got a stable of fighters, just like Bud and Bomac. They got a stable of fighters. Is Bud really going to be free? That's the golden question. Options. The same little options that people like Devin Haney tried to put on Gary Russell Jr. Options. Is Bud locked down with options? Riddle me that. If there was anybody who should have heard this interview on the PBC podcast, it was Terence Bud Crawford. You need, if Bud, you need to go and look at this interview, and you need to start looking at it and paralleling it with yourself. Think about it. Undisputed champion, 3-division champion. We talking about my main man going to the Hall of Fame, all built by Top Rank. All built by Top Rank. Is they really gonna let him walk away? Do y'all really think so? Let's keep it 100 here. Look at Mikey. Mikey was in the exact same position, in the exact same shoes, did pretty much almost, aside from Undisputed, most of the exact same things. It's a playbook. Is Bud really gonna be free? Mikey, Oscar, Floyd all had to find a way out after being built by Top Rank. They had to find a way out. Bob wasn't gonna let him out, and he was even willing to shelf Mikey, have him lose his livelihood. Man got bills and shit. Lose your livelihood. Put your career on hold. Take food off your table. Care less about your family, and you think that we should be caring about anything about these suits? This is what Mikey means when he say screw Bob Arum. Because Bob Arum tried to make me nothing. Will he do the same thing to Bud? And that's all I'm saying, fam. This is very, very concerning. Very, very concerning. Very, very concerning. Very, very concerning. Mikey Garcia initially thought that he could beat Spence, and I suspect that he will revisit that topic. He's confident, and his confidence and ambition will cloud his judgment again. Yeah. Mikey looking for that checkout, man. I don't even really know where he goes aside from Manny Pacquiao. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing him and Danny Garcia. I think that'd be something good. You know what I'm saying? Mikey Garcia versus Danny Garcia. But outside of that, man, I don't think Mikey can really beat nobody else at the top. Like, I don't see him beating Porter. Don't see him beating Bud. Don't see him beating Earl Spence on, even if Spence is having a 50% day. Don't see it. You know what I mean? I don't know where Mikey gonna go. He's already kind of X'd off the 140 situation, stating that, yo, man, I got Jose Ramirez who trains with my brother. Can't fight him if he wins Undisputed. Can't fight Josh Taylor because Josh Taylor's over on ESPN with Bob Arum. Can't fight him if he becomes undisputed. Already fought Adrian Bronner. She said even in the Devin Haney situation, he says Devin need more time. Devin ain't ready. Where would Mikey go? You see him in the gym with a little pot belly. You see his little pot belly working out in the gym. Yeah, he working out. He claimed he just want to get in shape. I just don't know where Mikey can go. I truly, honestly don't. I don't see him beating. I mean, him and Ugas might be decent. But outside of that, bro, you ain't beating no Porter. You ain't beating Keith. You ain't beating Earl. And you ain't beating Terence. I have no idea where Mikey goes. He ain't going to fight a Regis Prograis. What's left for Mikey? What's a big enough check out there for Mikey? Maybe someone I'm missing. Victor Ortiz. You can't do that. What you going to do? The only other option left is Manny Pacquiao or maybe Danny Garcia. Outside of those two fighters, I can't think of anyone else that Mikey can fight. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Mikey Garcia. But at the end of the day, before I leave this topic, I just want to say, Terence Bud Crawford, please go back and listen to this interview to a T and learn. I think he dropped major jewels.